It's Press Pass with Jack Ebling, Mid-Michigan's spirited sports debate. Now let's get talking sports. Here's Jack.
Great evening, Mid-Michigan and beyond, and welcome to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It is time to meet Team 225. Graham Couch, sports columnist for the Lansing State Journal. He is our Monday co-host on The Drive with Jack, the Team 92.1 FM, and drivewithjack.com. Home for We Are There Sports Radio, and we were all there yesterday in Breslin Center. Not sure we expected to see what we saw.
No, I mean, I didn't from either team. That's a different Michigan team than I've seen in recent years. And for Michigan State, there are a lot of questions, and we'll get into this, but there are some serious deficiencies that an elite team, and I do believe Michigan is that, revealed, and that's something the Michigan State's got to address if they want to get where they want to go. Also joined by Tom Crawford, my longtime radio partner, Blue Belly Tom. He is our Tuesday in studio and Thursday remotes co-host on The Drive with Jack. And as happy as you've been in a long time, Tom.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's been tough to be a Michigan fan for multiple months here when you think about it. All the football, the expectations, so this was really nice to have something feel good about and get Spartan fans just to back away a little bit. That was nice.
You would have traded about 4 of these, though, for a win last October 7th?
Nah, maybe not 4, but a couple of them.
A couple,
yeah.
All right. Also joined by Rico Beard. He's a Specs Howard, broadcast instructor, recruiting insider, and he is host of the Spartan Beat, weeknights from 6 to 7 on the Team 92.1 FM. You were there yesterday. Could you believe what you saw?
No, I could not believe what I saw, and, you know, kind of going to what Graham said, I think that this Michigan State team has not really bought into the psyche. You're going to get everybody's best shot.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to bully and intimidate folks, and that's the problem, is teams are coming out there. Michigan never shot that well at free throws. They made 19 in a row.
Yeah.
Teams are going to do things you've never seen before as they get up for you.
We've seen Michigan State do some strange things that go on and win championships. Had an 18-point loss at Northwestern in 1979, lost at Wright State in 2000, so it's not uncharted waters, but there's a lot of work to do, Graham.
Yeah, but those were games where you maybe don't get up for as much as this one. And this was, you know, the problem here is this is a toughness issue that we've seen against Rutgers, which I thought was the tougher team, against Ohio State. So, and then there's just some offensive cohesion that's not existing. And then there's also the Nick Ward issue where you now have a formula to double him that they're going to have to deal with and figure out how to counter that.
We're going to talk a lot more about Michigan State basketball, where it is moving forward. A couple of Friday games coming up in Breslin Center. We're also going to talk about the University of Michigan, what this means to the Wolverines, John Beilein's program, where they go from here. We'll also talk Michigan State football, coaching changes, players leaving, and, of course, the NFL. Fabulous finishes. We'll be right back with that and more here on Press Pass.
Sign and Drive is still alive at Team 1 in Charlotte. Come in, sign your name, then drive off in your new car. That's it. Get this 2018 Chevy Silverado, only $189 a month, and no money down at Team 1 because your first payment is literally just your signature. And the 2018 Equinox LT is just $179 a month with Sign and Drive. Find these great deals and more at Team 1, the only one with Sign and Drive. Team1Charlotte.com.
Team 1!
Go Green!
Don's Fleet Services on Eaton Rapids Road has been serving the Lansing area for over 20 years. Call Don's for all of your automotive needs, from regular maintenance to full repairs.
Don's Fleet Services. Go Green!
With the David Chapman Agency, auto owners' insurance policies come with something extra. Local agents who care about you. Our agents will help you find the right coverage at the best price. 3 generations serving you at the David Chapman Agency, your local auto owners' insurance agents.
Representing personal injury and accident victims for over 50 years.
Winter, definitely the worst season for golf. But it is the best time to save on a new car or truck. During Graf's Winterfest, going on right now at every Graf dealership.
During Graf Winterfest, drive off a new Equinox for only $144 per month, or get a new Silverado double cab for just $145 a month. And only at Graf, get $3,000 minimum for your trade.
Graf Winterfest, year-end savings at the beginning of the year.
The savings are going on now at every Graf dealership.
Team spirit, face paint, more cowbell. Dean Trailways Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's our Going Green segment brought to you by Graf Chevrolet, a trusted friend with 104 years in the automobile business. Stop and see Matt, Mark, and Greg on West Grand River and Okemos. They'll take great care of you, as they have on all 6 of my leases and purchases. Go green, go Graf. What's the lesson of the last week, Ohio State Rutgers this year?
We just got to be better. We got to keep our edge and be understanding everybody's going to play their best game against us just because of who we are and the kind of team that we are. So we have to always come out with the competitive fight no matter what and keep it the whole game.
We just got to play our principles, out tough some teams. That's what we do here. And if we can't do that, then we're going to continue to lose games that we're supposed to win. I'd rather go back out there because I can't live this loss down because I know that we lost something that we were supposed to win. But hopefully we can beat them in the tournament.
Michigan State sophomores, Joshua Langford and Miles Bridges. Rico, 8 days ago, a lot of people were saying this Michigan State team might go through the Big Ten season undefeated. I think you said that you thought there was a good chance that this team could finish with fewer losses in basketball than it did in 10-3 football season. What happened at home this week against Rutgers and Michigan following that 16-point loss at Ohio State?
I think what happened was this team is now starting to realize that other teams really they're going to challenge your toughness. They're going to come right at you. It's a copycat league. If this works for this team, let's try doing the same thing. You saw Michigan, and as Bridges is saying, this is even a team that's not known for toughness, but they out-toughed us. And if you're Michigan State, you got to get your swagger back. You got to get arrogant. You got to get cocky, and that's not in their DNA right now. These are very likable characters, and when they're out on the court, they play good team ball. But you need some swagger. You need some arrogance that, you know what, we're the best team, and you have no right to be on the court with us. You don't get that with this team, and teams are challenging that. You should have never been that close to Rutgers, and Michigan should. Mo Wagner, pretty much, he still owns the Breslin Center right now.
Graham, I don't think Michigan State took Rutgers lightly after what happened in Piscataway. Certainly didn't take Michigan lightly, but did Ohio State steal some of Michigan State's mojo?
Yeah, I mean, there was a swagger loss. It was dinged, and a little bit of confidence. They were walking onto the court like they were something, and they lost that. But I think there's more to that. I mean, I think this is a team that has some just functional part issues, and it's not, I mean, Michigan looks like a team. You watch the way they drove to the basket. You watch Mo Wagner, who was the best player on the court by a mile yesterday. Their offense has purpose. Michigan State's offense doesn't look like it has purpose right now, and when that purpose is to get it to Nick Ward, people are taking it away. And all these weapons that are supposed to be making people pay for that, they're not able to do it. And that they've got to get down and they've got to figure out why and how to counter that. There are some little nitty-gritty stuff. It's not just the psychological stuff.
Tom, maybe we should have seen some of this coming after the game. You and I were at Chrysler Center Tuesday night for the Purdue game, and Michigan battled a much bigger Purdue team on the boards and dominated there. Had a rebounding edge anyway, and certainly held their own yesterday.
Yeah, they had a 7-rebound advantage over Purdue, and they had more offensive rebounds in Michigan State. Very surprising there. But the fact that Michigan State's not getting anything out of the two guard is just baffling to me. They're not getting any assists out of their off their guard play, and Nick Ward getting 5 shots. That's ridiculous.
They played timid. They played scared yesterday. They played like, I don't want to be the guy that screws this thing up, so I'll defer it to you.
Well, and the problem is, so Mo Wagner's a big advantage, right? And he's a tough matchup for Nick Ward. Well, Nick Ward's a tough matchup for Mo Wagner. But when you can't defend the ball screen to the point that Nick Ward is relegated to the bench, that ultimately what it is. Michigan's advantage got to be an advantage and stay on the court. Michigan State's dent in that realm. And then Michigan State's guards really struggled.
If Nick Ward had been on the court more with Tom, I don't think that those deficiencies would have been as pronounced. But the way the ball screens were, it made it impossible to have them both out there at the same time.
Right. The only problem is when you go with Tom, you're sacrificing sacrificing offense because for some reason Tum Tum will just not shoot the ball.
Well, there wasn't a lot of offense out of Cassius
Well,
yesterday. He got dominated by Xavier Simpson.
Yeah.
We saw what happened with Joshua Langford and Matt McQuaid, and they didn't have a point in the first half, and we know that Nick Ward was rendered useless. So there were a lot of these parts, as you're talking about, that weren't functional.
Well, and Cassius was the big one, right? Because he's a guy who's a creator for himself, for other people, and he wasn't that yesterday. He really, really struggled. And defensively, I thought he reverted back.
There was no defensively.
Yeah, I mean, it was really bad. Both he and Langford.
When Michigan State was attacking year after year, they've always been able to drive the baseline against Michigan, eat them up on the baseline. Michigan shut them down on the baseline.
Well, and let's give some credit here. Michigan was really, really good.
Right.
Michigan the other night lost by 1 to a Purdue team that I have underrated all year. That may be one of the top couple teams in the country. I think Michigan looked different too, and Michigan State's going to have to realize that that's what happened as well. It wasn't just MSU. But
we're going to talk more about Michigan. We'll get to that in a minute. But Tom, aside from Gavin Schilling, who might have played the best game of his career, Jaren Jackson, he had 19 points and 6 blocks, and I thought Xavier Tillman had some good moments. No other Michigan State player had a day to remember. What surprised you about the Spartans?
Well, it's the toughest thing keeps coming back when Miles Bridges goes and it gets quoted saying, they out-toughed us. I can't believe that came out of his mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the leader, and he's the guy who was challenged all week about, you got to be tough, you got to be a jerk.
This wasn't just the Michigan game, though. Michigan State went into the Rutgers game, number 4 in the nation in rebounding, and they had their hands full. Rutgers was the tougher team that night in Breslin Center. Michigan State was fortunate to win. They could be on a 3-game losing streak if one jump shot had fallen. We'll be right back. We'll have our Out of the Blue segment talking Michigan basketball up next.
Hello, my name is Dr. John Braccio, psychologist. If you or your child have problems with focus, inattention, sitting still, memory, concentration, these are traits of ADHD. Visit us at drjohnb.com.
The student bookstores are Green and White Shop headquarters. Outfit your entire family with Spartan gear. We have a large selection of men's, women's, and children's clothing. Show off your Michigan State pride with new shoes, socks, hats, and more. Have your tailgate ready with MSU party supplies, car accessories, and dress your pet in green and white. We have gifts for students, grads, alumni, and fans. From Vera Bradley and Dooney and Burke to diploma frames and more. Always shop SBS for the biggest and best selection of green and white. Go green, go white, go SBS.
It was a Saturday of smiles for Michigan State at Michigan Stadium. A sea of white amid maize and blue. A team that laid it all on the line with ferocious hits and a steady hand. For 59 minutes and 50 seconds, then all hell broke loose. Cherish the memories of October 17, 2015, and one of the greatest finishes in college football history. The Perfect 10 by Jack Ebling and Joe Rexrow. Available at drivewithjack.com, at SBS and Schuler Books, and on Amazon. Before time runs out.
Hello, my name is Dr. John Braccio, psychologist. If you or your child have problems with focus, inattention, sitting still, memory, concentration, these are traits of ADHD. Visit us at drjohnb.com.
From business to farms, Hastings Mutual will protect your best assets.
The legendary Checkers and Rallies Big Buford now comes in 3 sizes. Big, bigger, and beast with all the fixings. The single, double, or triple Buford. So how hungry are you? Checkers and Rallies. Fast foodies know the deal.
After reviewing the play, you should be driving a Honda from Capital Honda. During Capital Honda's Savings Rush, catch 2017 Honda Accord LX, 0 down, $219 a month. Score 2017 Honda Civic LX, $169 a month. Rush to Capital Honda today.
MSU Federal Credit Union will help start your kids out on the right financial path. Teach your children how to save money in all stages of their lives with MSU FCU's youth accounts. Stop in today or visit msufcu.org for more information.
At Checkers and Rallies, get a win before the game even starts. Cause now you can get your choice of sandwich and small fry for just $2. Beats overpriced stadium food, the $2 meal deal. Checkers and Rallies. Fast foodies know the deal.
It's really good to get a win like that over a tremendous team with an incredible Hall of Fame coaching staff, really. And for us to come in here and get a win the way we did today, where the first half was a highlight show, and they were terrific in so many areas. And at the same time, we just sort of played. We only turned the ball over 8 times. We only gave them 8 offensive rebounds, We went to the foul line and made the foul shot, something we hadn't been doing. So there's a lot of ways to win a game, and we found it.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Our Out of the Blue segment, Michigan basketball coach John Beilein, after yesterday's 10-point win over Michigan State. Tom Crawford, there were questions whether Mo Wagner would be able to play, how well he would be able to play. Played a lot better than he did Tuesday night when he struggled with Isaac Haas and had a critical foul at the end of the game. 27 points in 27 minutes, and he was dominant.
Yeah, since that win down in Austin, Texas, he tweaked his ankle, or twisted it down there, and he's out for a long time. And then he, against Purdue, and you were down there with me, he didn't look quite where he should be, and then he twisted his ankle on Thursday in practice, and he was iffy, if you will, at best. But I'll tell you what, I remember him in the Louisville game down in Indy at Bankers Life. I attended down there in the NCAA tournament. He was terrific in that game. But he has really come a long way. And I've never seen him play this well, obviously, since that Louisville game. And who knows where it'll take. I think the DJ Wilson departure to the NBA has really opened the door for Mo.
Rico, did Mo play well enough now that you will call him Wagner instead of Wagner?
No. And remember the show Heart to Heart? It was with Robert Wagner?
Yeah.
We didn't call him Wagner.
It's Wagner.
Still Wagner. Anyway, go ahead. It's still Mo Wagner.
What do you think of Wagner's performance yesterday, of those you've seen in Breslin Center?
I've always loved his game. First of all, I love the swagger. I love the fact that he shushed the crowd. He winked at the crowd. I love that. He's what Michigan State doesn't have. And he was the best player on the floor. Obviously, he had some dirt to his game, the way you saw some Dirk Nowitzki. I think he's exactly what MSU needs. I'm not sure an MSU player.
There's no one like him in the Big Ten.
Nobody would go on the road in MSU and shush a crowd. I'm not sure Miles Bridges would do that. And I'm not saying they should if it's not your personality, but it helps your team when you have a guy like that.
But Graham, it goes back to that. You got a bunch of really nice guys, and I'm sure Izzo loves the fact that he could go to sleep at night and know these guys are going to get in trouble. But you need somebody to be a little Draymond Green.
I want to talk about Michigan. We've talked about Michigan.
But with Wagner,
this is a Michigan
but
side.
you know what? But to Rico's point, this is what Beilein's been fighting all the time. He hasn't had
He's had too many nice guys.
We got guys in tuxedos. He called it. They're always real
and you can be
nice.
both. You can be both.
Yeah.
You can be. Wagner is not going to get in trouble off the court. Draymond Green didn't get in trouble off the court.
Right.
He was that kind of jerk ass on the court. You need that, right?
But Tuesday night, he didn't help Michigan win. In fact, he was a problem for him. So it doesn't happen every night. It happened against Michigan State, and in that matchup, the way Michigan State defended him, he was at his absolute best. Rico, are you ready to say that Michigan is definitely an NCAA tournament team? And what do you think of my statement from October that Michigan would have a better basketball team than had a football team this year?
Second question first. Yeah, the football team was god-awful, so they set the bar very low. So the basketball team has already cleared that hurdle. They got their signature victory. I'm sure they paraded their trophy around and drove it all the way back to Ann Arbor. But yeah, right now Michigan looks as if they're going to be. Michigan and Ohio State, to me, have been the two biggest surprises in the Big Ten. Didn't see these two teams being as good. I thought Michigan State and Purdue, yes, but for Michigan, they may be playing their way into playing in Detroit too. Everybody's always said, hey, Michigan State's going to be in Detroit for the first round.
If Michigan could be there too, Tom.
If Michigan State could be playing them out of that.
If Michigan can slide up to a 4 seed, they get to play there too.
Right. Graham Couch, as an AP Top 25 voter, you start with a blank sheet every week. Are you ready to put Michigan ahead of Michigan State in this week's ballot?
Yeah, I think you have to. Because even though Michigan State's resume at times looks better than North Carolina comparison, whatever, they just went on the road, and they were the better team, not just in the scoreboard at the end. I think anybody who was watching that game 10, 15 minutes in, even if Michigan State had won it, Michigan looked like the better team that day.
So where does Michigan go in your poll?
I haven't done the whole poll yet, but they're probably top 15. Top 15.
So Michigan State
falls out of the top 15?
They're in the 15 range. I haven't done the poll yet, but probably both middle of the top 25.
All right. We'll be right back with more on Press Pass.
We are the selling team. We are here when you need us.
We work harder for you.
We follow up.
We get your home sold.
We are the selling team with Keller Williams Realty. Beyond real estate, real family.
With the David Chapman Agency, auto owners' insurance policies come with something extra. Local agents who care about you. Our agents will help you find the right coverage at the best price. 3 generations serving you at the David Chapman Agency, your local auto owners' insurance agents.
Checkers and Rallies, you can get a win before the game even starts. And winning just got easier because now you can get a meal deal with your choice of 4 delicious sandwiches and small famous seasoned fries for just $2. Beats trying to fill up on overpriced stadium food. The $2 meal deal with your choice of 4 sandwiches and small famous seasoned fries. Checkers and Rallies. Fast foodies know the deal.
St. John savings 7 days a week. Buicks and GMCs, come see us.
Winter, definitely the worst season for golf, but it is the best time to save on a new car or truck. During Graf's Winterfest, going on right now at every Graf dealership.
During Graf Winterfest, drive off a new Equinox for only $144 per month, or get a new Silverado double cab for just $145 a month. And only at Graf, get $3,000 minimum for your trade.
Graf Winterfest, year-end savings at the beginning of the year. The savings are going on now at every Graf dealership.
Team spirit, face paint, more cowbell. Dean Trailway's Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Hard to believe it wasn't even a week ago, and we had an unbelievable national championship game with Alabama doing it again over Georgia. A little closer game than some thought, Rico.
Closer game than some thought. I ended up owing Doug Warren in the bet that we made, but I remember sitting here on the panel when the teams came out, and I said there was only one team that would win the national championship. It took the final play, but all you need is one play, folks. That's why I'm always right. Roll Tide!
You're not always right.
Roll Tide.
It took Alex Hornibrook and Wisconsin having one too many mistakes, or Alabama would not have been in the playoff,
How's
right?
Oklahoma?
They'd be a New Year's Six game.
How's Oklahoma doing, Tom?
They got jobbed by the refs, okay?
All right.
You know that.
You know
I
who didn't get jobbed by the refs? Bama.
Graham, yesterday at halftime of the basketball game, crowd definitely loved that more than they loved anything they saw in the second half. What did wins over Michigan and Penn State, the bowl win over Washington State and San Diego, and a 10-3 finish do for this team, recruiting moving forward, and fans' fragile psyches?
Well, on the recruiting front, and Rico knows this better than I do, but I think they had a really solid recruiting class even after 3 and 9, and I thought recruits kind of gave them a mulligan, and that sort of validated that. And they didn't, you know, that allows that to continue as it was going forward. I think for the psyche, though, of where fans are on the, I mean, look, the beating Michigan was huge. It's not just the 10-3; it's who they beat, when they beat them, the way you feel after coming out of a bowl game. I think there is an optimism about this program that they have a chance. You know, we joked about 36 wins in 3 years would never happen again. I still think that's far-fetched. But they have a chance to have a special run over 2 years and really play for important things. And I think that was in question before this season, and so people ought to feel good about that.
How has the reaction to Michigan State football changed in the last 6 months, Tom? You remember how it was? And people said, well, okay, they're headed, and now has it come out of that?
Well, yeah, and that just shows you they're not going to go away. I mean, that little fantasy that they're going to go away at 3 and 9, Michigan fans might wish that. But I'm telling you what, you got Michigan. Michigan State has Michigan's attention now. Just the people I'm talking to, they're not talking about Ohio State, man. It's like we got to beat these dudes up in East Lansing. I mean, that's the people that I talk. That's in my world.
It's kind of like what I figured out yesterday after the basketball game.
We're a basketball school, right?
Michigan State is just a football school.
Recruiting standpoint, Rico, there's still a couple of players, big names out there, including a receiver from Texas.
Yeah, Tommy Bush, probably down to 4 teams. He's not really telling where he's going to go, hedging his bets. Michigan State is still in the running. His mother likes Michigan State. The thing is, the Penn State game, Jack, may become the gift that keeps on giving. Because of the delay, he got to spend extra time with the coaching staff during that delay to watch and see how they were adjusting and do in-game things. That may end up becoming the thing that pushes him over the edge if he picks the Spartans.
Tom Crawford, how surprised were you by the transfers of a couple of receivers in this program? You're talking about a contributing freshman and legacy recruit Hunter Rison, and spring game sensation Tristan Jackson.
I was really surprised because they were getting playing time, and Hunter was, a third down receiver. But, it surprised me, but doesn't surprise me because these kids these days, maybe 15 years ago wouldn't have surprised me, but they want to play. And if they're not getting if they're not getting 30, 40 catches their freshman year, I'm out of here. And we're seeing that not just in Michigan State, but a lot of the Power 5
I was
schools.
surprised when Hunter left that Tristan followed. I thought that Tristan may view that as a door opening, and he has a lot of talent. And
I think Tristan was already out the door first, and Hunter just beat him to it. Hunter was the one that really shocked me because you're a freshman, you're the 4th receiver, you can't go to the NFL right now. You're going to have to sit out a year, and it was set up that in your 3rd year, you and Cody White were going to be the 2 guys.
But this was 2 months in the making, guys. I mean, in October, all the groundwork was laid for Hunter Rison to leave.
And how much parental influence is there?
There was
a
lot.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to, I hate to use the term millennials, but my goodness, there's no patience. There's no sitting. Felton Davis, everybody should have talked to him because Felton Davis looked like a guy that we all thought was going to leave.
That's true.
And now you look at him,
good.
he's one of the best receivers coming back to the Big Ten.
Speaking of leaving, Graham, we had Harlan Barnett on The Drive with Jack Friday. He said some amazing things to me. One is that, he's hired without knowing a head coach. 2 is that he wouldn't have left after a 3-9 season. He thought that would have been cowardly. Very impressive.
That didn't surprise me. I mean, knowing Harlan and knowing I've seen other coaches in that circumstance where a head coach is in a spot and your loyalty to them is such. This was a career move. Yes.
Yes, Michigan State stepped up, and that wasn't.
And I'm sure look, he's going to make more money in 3 years than he made in 11 at Michigan State.
And he's coming back to be the head coach, right?
I think this is a career move. He wants to be a head coach someday. He would love to be the head coach of his alma mater. This puts him in play as a candidate if things go well.
Let's take a quick look, if we can, at the staff. And Rico, you've had some names. Who fills these positions? If Mike Tressel becomes coordinator, there's still 3 jobs to fill.
Well, I think maybe you go get Bullitt from Eastern Michigan, Archie Collins from Central Michigan, and that 10th coach, I don't know. I guess you can kind of play around with that one.
A lot of guys who would want it.
I like Marcus Ray.
Good. Courtney Hawkins would like it.
You can have
Marcus Ray, right?
You can have Marcus Ray.
Marcus Ray. I think he can do well.
We'll be right back on Press Pass.
The Knapp Center is a historical hub for future business growth in beautiful downtown Lansing.
The Ide Company did the best they could to preserve the integrity of the history of this building while incorporating a modern open workspace.
They have been prompt, they have been efficient, and they really are a friendly, great group of people that we don't have any concerns about calling them for any of our needs.
Opportunities for retail, office, restaurant, and residential. Build the future as a member of the Ide Company family.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, we have a taste for adventure because the only way to know how good something can be is to go for it. Try our veggie smoothies, Island Green, made with spinach, kale, pineapple, banana, and mango, and Caribbean Sea Burst with carrots, mango, banana, orange, and goji. Adventure begins with never knowing until you try, but always expecting something great. Go for a veggie smoothie at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Eat better, feel better.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
Everything you thought you knew about medicine is wrong.
The Resident, this January on Fox.
Hi folks, I'm Jack Williams from Total Firearms and Pro Tackle Shop. Stop in and see us for all your fishing, hunting, and archery needs.
Like us on Facebook.
I've lost 2 homes in my lifetime. Both times, my independent agent and auto owners took care of me like someone takes care of family.
Holton Dimedale Insurance Agency, your hometown team. Come see us today.
Altogether, our family has had 6 vehicles that we've purchased from Sawyer's.
The experience working with Sawyer's was great. From the time you walk in, they're extremely helpful. I'm a Silverado guy. I've kept them for years and years, and they always do great. They get pretty good gas mileage, and being construction, that's important to me.
What I like best about the Malibu is all the accessories I get to play with and stuff, but the best part is probably that I get to drive them 3 years.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for the big picture. Brought to you by Dean Trailways. With trips for every season, Dean takes care of the details so you can enjoy the experience, including daily casino runs and great getaways to northern Michigan and Chicago. Doug Warren and I took a Dean Luxury Cruiser to Chicago, joined 27 pro football greats and more than 100 supporters of the Shinsky Orphanage in Matamoros, not far from landfall for Hurricane Harvey.
You know, part of our success this season has been the balance of run and pass, and we got back to that. We committed to that. We stuck with it, and guys executed the game plan extremely well. The biggest emotion for me was the team, the guys, the resiliency of this football team, and you know, our backs against the wall. People, you know, discount us, don't give us much credit, whatever it might be, and for our team to battle and against a fine football team. You know, a team that was obviously this time of year is playing extremely well, hot football team. That's one thing about this team that I love so much. They battle to the end, and so that was the biggest kind of rush of emotion just thinking about the players.
Philadelphia Eagles head coach Doug Peterson, the #1 seed in the NFC. We should have listened to Julie Campbell. She's been telling us all year that the Eagles were going to the Super Bowl. Odds makers didn't necessarily buy it. They were an underdog at home.
That's strange.
That doesn't happen often, but they persevered, won 15-10 over the Falcons. Can they do the same thing next week against the Minnesota Vikings, who had an incredible finish, Rico?
You know, I see the Philadelphia Eagles a little bit differently because Ike Reese, former Spartan, is all into the Eagles.
Yeah.
And he keeps telling me, he's like, I'm telling you, these kids, they're good, they're good. I'm like, Ike, you're close to the program. But they found a way to win that game. And you know what? It's kind of weird when you look at these Final Four teams, but I think that Philly under Nick Foles, they didn't drop off. It wasn't that big of a drop off.
He managed the game, to use that terrible term.
You have a quarterback who can do it just enough to keep winning your games. You only got to win by 1, and he's doing that. He's not making the mistakes, and as Tom says, he's managing the game. Game manager, I know it sounds like a dirty term, but if you win games, it doesn't matter.
Well, you got guys who were not the starting quarterback at the beginning of the season, and you certainly have that with Case Keenum, who was #3, but he found Stephon Diggs on that play of the sideline, and you'll be watching that play for 30 years, Graham.
It was a bizarre tackle, right, too? I mean, it just there were some bizarre things late in these NFL games.
It's the tackle that I hate. Nobody wraps up anymore. You go for the shoulder hit.
Yeah, and then he took out his own guy, the only other guy who had a chance. And Diggs, as you mentioned off air, Rico, had the presence of mind not to step out of bounds, which is sort of your inclination there, right? You're a long ways out, kill clock. And that was a really smart play. And you love those finishes. I feel bad for Drew Brees. I was kind of looking forward to watching him try and make a Super Bowl run. I kind of wanted to see a Brees-Brady type matchup, but still, give Minnesota a lot of credit.
Tom, Doug Warren's been preaching the Vikings and the defense all year long. 2 great defenses going to meet next week in Philadelphia. Minnesota get this done?
Yeah, I think their offense is a little more potent, and I'll tell you what, the momentum they got generated from today. I say, you know, the Vikings will be playing the Super Bowl in their own stadium. I mean, this has been going to be really strange, and will that be an advantage if they're playing, you know, even the Patriots would be there. That'd be interesting to see how that plays out.
I'm hoping for the Jaguars just to see
something. That'd be something different. Representing the Detroit Lions, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This season is just kind of weird that I would not be shocked.
Well, everybody would be a Jaguars fan in the entire world.
I think that New England's the best team, but the way the NFL is going.
What about that game? When you think today, the Jaguars had already beaten the Steelers 30-9 at Heinz Field, come out and just completely amazing the offensive performance they had with the running game and survived Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, Ben Roethlisberger.
Well, the Jaguars are really a quarterback away from being a definite Super Bowl team. They've had the defense all year. We've known it. And the immaturity and just stupidity from the Pittsburgh Steelers all week, talking about the New England Patriots. I mean, they got what they deserved. It was really incredible. And then in this game, there were some logical clock decision moves. Like, you do not kick an onside kick there, right?
The onside kick was horrible. Oh, my God.
Yeah, it was the worst kind of onside kick. It was an anticipated onside kick.
It's like Pee Wee
when
football.
a kickoff could have put you in position to get all you needed.
Or even with 30 seconds left, kick the field goal, and just then you give yourself more time if you get the onside kick to go for the touchdown.
Exactly.
Instead of you score a touchdown.
Well, they figured they were down there so close.
There were some fourth down calls. There were a lot of things.
They threw
the Steelers
deep on
were
fourth
bizarre.
down.
Right, but it was 30 seconds to go. You needed it. Kick it
No,
now.
I'm real Rico on that. Yeah.
Tom, everyone is talking about the Patriots winning Super Bowl number 6. If you had a choice of the Patriots or the field, you could have the other 3 teams. Who would you pick, and how much would you bet of your vast fortune?
Remember Bama. Remember what I told you about Bama.
I would take the New England Patriots. Now, I think they have some deficiency. They got a little small receivers. They need a big wideout, but I think they're going to beat a really good Jacksonville team, and I think they're going to beat the Vikings or the Eagles and win the Super Bowl. 6 Super Bowls for Tom Brady.
Everybody here think the Patriots are going to win this thing?
I don't know if Jacksonville can create enough offense, but after today, I didn't think that was going to happen either. I just think the Patriots aren't going to do what the Steelers did. The Steelers also beat themselves.
New England's defense is much better than last year.
Yeah.
I want to see New England go up against either of these defenses from the NFC, because I don't think they've seen anything like this in the AFC. They have a cake schedule when you look at what they do in the East.
Jack. Maybe if they get Minnesota at home.
We'll be right back with Law of the Jungle, talk about the Lions coaching search and much more coming up.
Welcome to Russell and Schrader Insurance. Hastings Mutual is a trusted partner of ours. Call Joe Daly for a Hastings Mutual insurance quote. They're hard to beat. Call Steve Keisch today. From business to farms, Hastings Mutual will protect your best assets.
Is it time for a new coat of paint, a new master suite, or a new address altogether? PFCU can help. With refinancing and new mortgage options, you can get started with competitive loan options today. PFCU, experiencing life with you.
Sign and Drive is still alive at Team 1 in Charlotte. Come in, sign your name, then drive off in your new car. That's it. Get this 2018 Chevy Silverado, only $189 a month, and no money down at Team 1 because your first payment is literally just your signature. And the 2018 Equinox LT is just $179 a month with Sign and Drive. Find these great deals and more at Team 1, the only one with Sign and Drive. Team1Charlotte.com.
Advanced technology and forecasting. Storm Shield weather. Only on Fox 47 News.
Winter. Definitely the worst season for golf. But it is the best time to save on a new car or truck. During Graf's Winterfest. Going on right now at every Graf dealership.
During Graf Winterfest, drive off a new Equinox for only $144 per month, or get a new Silverado double cab for just $145 a month. And only at Graf, get $3,000 minimum for your trade.
Graf Winterfest, year-end savings at the beginning of the year. The savings are going on now at every Graf dealership.
Coach's All-American Pub and Grill. What makes us All-American? Enjoying great food with ice-cold beverages and friendly service. Watching the game on one of our 21 large-screen TVs. With a variety of fun indoor and outdoor entertainment every night of the week. Connecting with friends, dining with family, or catching the game, you'll always have a great time. Coach's All-American Pub and Grill. Great food, fun, and friends.
You're up. There's an old saying, you can never have too many officials. The age of the average official is 52 and getting older all the time. We're constantly recruiting new people, younger people to join us. After you register with the MHSAA, look on the website to find an officials association near you. They'll put you in a position to succeed as an official. We all learned a lot from high school sports, and officiating is a great way to give back to the game. There's help wanted. Just whistle.
Touchdown, Falcons.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Law of the Jungle segment, brought to you by Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, your healthy alternative to fast food. Eat Woody's and live longer. I'm talking about chicken shawarma with baked breast meat and hummus made fresh in a 3-day process. That's why I'm there every week. There you see Matt Patricia, this beard neatly trimmed, It's not like, yeah,
there you go.
That's more the James Harden look. And I think he has his choice of jobs.
That beard is growing every picture.
Does he go to the New York Giants? Does he come to the Lions? And a couple of other candidates, Mike Vrabel, Pat Shurmur, acquitted himself very well today, and as he has all year, unbelievable situation, losing Dalvin Cook and his top 2 quarterbacks. Tom Crawford, can you talk about these 3 candidates? Who should the Lions take and who will they take?
Well, from what I'm hearing today, I thought it was a done deal. I thought Matt Patricia is going to be the head football coach from the latest reports.
It was a done deal 2 days ago.
Well, okay, but I think he's the
you can't do anything until the Patriots are done.
Yeah, I understand that, but it just seemed to be, being solidified today. So he's my number 1 candidate, and then obviously from the DNA of the Patriots, but. Pat Shurmur would be a second choice, and then a distant third would be Mike Vrabel, because he's a Buckeye, and I don't want any more Ohio State ingredients in my stuff.
I'm telling you.
That's where I'm at, Mike Vrabel.
Rico, I think what you might have is Patricia coming to the Lions and Pat Shurmur going to the Arizona Cardinals.
You could see that. I can definitely see that. If I'm Patricia, though, honestly, I know this is not popular, but I think the Giants would be the better job, because he could go out and get his own QB and build from there. The Giants
draft his quarterback.
He can get his guy, or go out and get the guy.
You don't like Matthew Stafford anyway.
No. But I'm saying, I just think that it's a better job because of the draft picks and where you're at. This is a place where a lot of people come and fail.
I think there are 3 reasons that I think Pat Shurmur would be a better selection. One is he has head coaching experience. He's not going to make the rookie mistakes. And there's a window with Matt Stafford. They need to capitalize on that now. 2 is the Patriots tree has produced exactly what?
Rotten fruit.
Right. No, that's a good point. Yeah.
Charlie Weiss. I mean,
Yeah, but if you're interviewing this guy, you got to be able to conduct the type of interview that you got to know what you have, and that's up to Bob Quinn. I mean, I think, look, I don't know what's going to happen or not. I don't like the reports that came out today, the likely reports. That's like the LeBron James all indication reports.
Yeah.
It gives a reporter an out and an ability to speculate. So I don't actually know what's going to happen. And I love his look, and I love all that stuff. Do I know if he's a great coach? No. But you have to trust Bob Quinn, and you have to trust that interview process, and you have to trust that he has the right feel for this guy.
And I'm not sure anybody is talking to Bob Quinn or that Bob Quinn is talking about this. And until he does, everything is conjecture. Rico, let's take a trip to Fantasyland. Okay. You have talked about the need for the Lions to get a franchise running back. You want him to get Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is going to be gone, maybe number 1, certainly a top 5 picks. The Lions are picking 20th. If you had a chance to make a major splash, and Le'Veon Bell keeps talking about he's going to retire, he's going to sit out the year, he's so upset at the Steelers with the franchise tag, would you at least make a call and see if you could trade a 1 this year and a 2 next year or something down the road to get the best back in football and an NFL Hall of Fame?
If I'm going to trade a 1 and a 2 next year, I'm going to trade up and get Saquon Barkley. The thing about Le'Veon Bell, I like Le'Veon Bell. He's got miles on the tires. I don't know how many more years that he can give you at this Le'Veon Bell type of performance.
Cleveland's not going to take a 2 to switch places in
No, I said if
round 1.
I give a 1 and a 2.
Right, but they're giving up a 1, so all they're getting is an extra 2. I think that the Steelers would be more inclined to give up Le'Veon Bell than the Browns would to give up the number 1 pick.
Even better if you're the Lions, I look at a guy like a Bryce Love. And I think that he can come in and do a lot of what you need to do. He can run out of the backfield. He can catch passes. He's multidimensional.
Low mileage on the.
He has not caught a lot of passes. They also need a physical back. I was watching LeGarrette.
Derrick Henry type of back. Give me Derrick Henry wherever it is, and have that type of kid.
All right, Graham. We're going to stay here in Dream World. And you heard about the Patriots.
That's where I live most of my life, by the way.
You heard about the Patriots situation and how Bill Belichick has had it with Bob Kraft and Tom Brady and the whole thing. And as a capper to his career, go back where it started, to Detroit. If they said, fill in the numbers, whatever it would be, you want a Ford plant? Take it. Certainly Bob Quinn knows and loves Bill Belichick. Say, come back, you've got a quarterback. He's not Tom Brady, but he's Matthew Stafford. He's pretty good. Would you at least kick the tires on that?
You make the call because it's Bill Belichick, but you don't waste a lot of time on it. You don't lose somebody out while he thinks about it. But sure, if you thought Bill Belichick, if you're Bob Quinn, you think Bill Belichick's available?
Yeah.
How do you not
What a way for Bill Belichick to seal his legacy as the greatest coach ever. Do something with the Lions.
Oh, my God.
Or you tarnish it. Maybe you find out that Tom Brady made you.
Because everybody else has already done it. All you can do is be better.
It's the elephant graveyard. Why would you want to come here and coach?
What do you think, Tom?
That's not going to happen in the next 2 weeks, I'll tell you that. Okay. Just don't see it.
Le'Veon was a good idea.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
You are in
Bill
fantasy
Belichick
land, Jeff.
probably going to retire with 7 or 8 Super Bowls in New England. We will be back in just a minute. We're going to have our Take It to the Bank segment. We're going to have a lot of predictions. We're going to talk about Michigan and Michigan State basketball this week. Up next.
What's the scariest thing about going to the dentist? Opening your mouth or opening your wallet? Because just a simple cleaning can cost $150, and things like root canals can cost you hundreds more. If you don't have dental insurance to help, text WISE to 33123 for a free information kit from Physicians Mutual Insurance Company. This isn't a discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance that helps pay for checkups right away, so you can text today and get your teeth cleaned tomorrow. Plus, it helps cover the more expensive procedures you might need down the road. Fillings, crowns, bridges, even costly dentures. There's no deductible and no annual maximum. Your acceptance is guaranteed for one of these insurance policies, even if you're retired or on Medicare. And you can choose any dentist you'd like. That's right, any dentist you want. Text WISE to 33123 and we'll rush you a free information kit with all the details. WISE to 33123.
It's a sweet green miracle.
The Big Bang Theory.
Now on from 7 to 8.
The student bookstores are Green and White Shop headquarters. Outfit your entire family with Spartan gear. We have a large selection of men's, women's, and children's clothing. Show off your Michigan State pride with new shoes, socks, hats, and more. Have your tailgate ready with MSU party supplies, car accessories, and dress your pet in green and white. We have gifts for students, grads, alumni, and fans. From Vera Bradley and Dooney and Burke to diploma frames and more. Always shop SBS for the biggest and best selection of green and white. Go green, go white, go SBS.
It was a Saturday of smiles for Michigan State at Michigan Stadium. A sea of white amid maize and blue. A team that laid it all on the line with ferocious hits and a steady hand. For 59 minutes and 50 seconds, then all hell broke loose. Cherish the memories of October 17, 2015, and one of the greatest finishes in college football history. The Perfect 10 by Jack Ebling and Joe Rexrow. Available at drivewithjack.com, at SBS and Schuler Books, and on Amazon before time runs out.
Working with the Ide Company, 1, is very easy to do. 2, they're very responsive to our needs. And 3, as we've grown as a company, they've listened to those needs and they've helped us plan out our future in terms of growth that needs to be done at this location.
It's just comforting to know I'm working with the Ide Company, knowing that they can accommodate our growth. In that way, they're an excellent partner.
Opportunities for retail, office, restaurant, and residential. Build the future as a member of the Ide Company family.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Take It to the Bank segment, brought to you by Dart Bank, dedicated to meeting the needs of our banking community for more than 90 years, with 4 convenient locations in Mason, Holton South Lansing, Grand Ledge, and the expanded Home Loan Center in Frandor. That's Dart Bank for what matters most. All right, gentlemen, no one knew that the University of Michigan was going to have the week that it did, playing so well against heavily favored Purdue, and really probably could have won that game, should have won that game, very, very close. No one knew that Michigan State was going to have the week it had, but certainly what happened in Breslin Center was a shock to just about everyone, and some people are paying off lunch bets, right?
Yeah, Tom wasn't Brant man enough to bet me, so he gets
bet on my team.
All right, let's take a look ahead, and what can we guarantee? It's an odd week. Michigan State idle until Friday when Indiana comes in. Still can't get used to these Friday night games, Graham, but 7 o'clock, Breslin Center, the Indiana Hoosiers will be here with Archie Miller, the new coach succeeding Tom Crane. And Michigan has 3 games. Seems like they just played. Now they're playing Monday, 6:30 at home against Maryland. And then they got 2 more games, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, that's in essence, there's 4 games in 8 days. That's ridiculous. So the old days, we had Thursdays and Saturday games. I mean, this is not, it's all TV driven, but, you know, and the Mo Wagner ankle situation, that's what concerns Michigan people, because he can wear down.
Already.
What's that again?
Are you giving excuses already?
No, this is a reality check. This is a factor,
and Wagner's been hurt.
Maryland could be pose a challenge.
Graham, looking at these 4 games this week, how many do Michigan and Michigan State win of the 4? How many are double-digit victories?
3 of the 4. I think the only potential loss that I think Nebraska's a tougher team than you think. That's a road game sandwich in between. I can see Michigan dropping that game, and if I had to predict it right now, I think they might. I think Michigan State's going to take one out on Indiana. I know they had an impressive win against Northwestern. They're playing a little better.
Right.
That Indiana's just not a very good defensive team. I think that's the 20-point win and the double-digit win. I think. But I do think Michigan takes care of business comfortably against both Rutgers and Maryland at home.
Tom Crawford, what can we bank on in those games?
Well, I got a little bit different than Graham. I think they're going to win double digits tomorrow night at Chrysler, and I think they also will against Rutgers, although that's going to be kind of tough. But I think they're going to win all. They're going to win all 3 of those games. I think Michigan State's going to absolutely powder Indiana because they're just flat out due. I mean, there's a lot of talent on that team, guys, and I think this week in practice will be crazy. And I think it's going to be 25 to 30-point win for Michigan State.
Can we bank on seeing the Spartans who showed up against Maryland, Rico?
Be better off investing in Bitcoin, Jack. No, you cannot bank on that. They are not going to come back. You are not going to see the Spartans that you saw against Maryland. Something is wrong with the brew. Don't know what it is. But it's not a quick fix, because if you couldn't fix it after the beatdown in Columbus, if you couldn't fix it with Michigan coming into your house and embarrassing you,
got 6 days of practice.
I don't know if Tom knows what the problem is.
But you don't have to fix it to annihilate Indiana.
What I'm saying is you're not going to annihilate Indiana.
Archie's done a pretty good job with it.
They may beat Indiana, but it'll be about 6 points or less.
They look good today against Northwestern.
The most likely loss of the 4, Michigan at Nebraska, would you say?
On the road in the Big Ten, it's always difficult. Yeah, and as I said, Nebraska's a lot better team at home.
I think back to the night of the Maryland game, Graham, and I'm leaving the press room. I saw Brendan Quinn, and I said, "What'd you think?" He said, "Oh, they're really good. I don't know who's going to beat them." Now trying to figure out what happened to this team, how many people have been abducted in spaceships.
I think we all are, and there's a lot they're going to have to look at introspectively, but also tactically. I think there's some things they've got to work on.
They may need to go see the Wizard.
We'll be right back. Our Culver's Cool and Smooth segment up next here on Press Pass.
Winter, definitely the worst season for golf, but it is the best time to save on a new car truck during Graf's Winterfest, going on right now at every Graf dealership.
During Graf Winterfest, drive off a new Equinox for only $144 per month, or get a new Silverado double cab for just $145 a month. And only at Graf, get $3,000 minimum for your trade.
Graf Winterfest, year-end savings at the beginning of the year. The savings are going on now at every Graf dealership.
Team spirit. Face paint. More cowbell. Dean Trailway's Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Catch all the savings and excitement during Capital Honda's Savings Rush, now at Capital Honda.
Women need specialized medical care for such things as pap smears, mammograms, and prenatal exams. When a physician commits medical malpractice, or a manufacturer provides defective transvaginal mesh, or a company fails to warn that talcum powder can cause cancer, I will be your champion. I'm Eileen Kroll. As a registered nurse, I understand the medicine. As a trial lawyer, I will protect your rights.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for a cool and smooth segment brought to you by the 5 Culver's locations in mid-Michigan. Since 1984, Culver's has been delighting guests one meal at a time with scrumptious butter burgers and premium frozen custard. That's Culver's. Welcome to delicious. All right, Team 225, who has been as cool and smooth as a Culver's mint explosion this week? Rico Beard, what about our play of the week?
Play of the week, I had one all set until I saw the end of that Minnesota game. And it's very hard for me not to stick with the original.
Yeah.
But I'm going to stick with my original. But that Minnesota play.
That's an all-time play.
It was.
So it's Mo Wagner breaking Nick Ward's ankles.
It was Mo Wagner.
I got it right?
Ward's ankle. It was. Because that play summed up the entire game. That play,
speechless.
When Wagner took Nick Ward and he shook him, and Ward slips and falls, and then he goes up and throws it off the backboard. That play summed up the entire game. But now later on today, Stephon Diggs in the final play of the game, Minnesota, to send them to the NFC Championship, he catches the ball and has the presence of mind not to step out of bounds and turn around and score the touchdown with no time left. That's my plan B, but I got to go with Wagner and the crossover of Nick Ward.
If Mo Wagner does not make that play, does Michigan win anyway, Graham?
Yes, but it was, as he said, it was a play that sort of characterized what would happen.
It's a game that's going to determine who
But
goes
Jack, it's a play that fans will remember.
He just wanted to say Wagner. That's
You don't think they're going to remember Stephon Diggs going down the sideline with no time left?
I'm telling Michigan State fans will remember that play. That's one of those plays etched in stone. It's like Trey Burke stealing the ball from Keith Appling.
That was good.
Graham Couch, our game of the week was?
Yeah, I mean, you can obviously go with what we saw in the NFL with Minnesota, New Orleans, and you can go for best Big Ten game for Purdue, Michigan. I thought in terms of quality was fantastic. But, I know we've talked about it a lot, but I just haven't seen a Michigan State game as revealing and at least temporarily damning as what we saw on Saturday against Michigan. It was a game that changes. It makes you rethink the way you've looked at Michigan State, and some of this is on our expectations. It really is. Some of it makes you rethink what you thought about Michigan. I mean, I remember watching Michigan and North Carolina and thinking, horrible. I don't know. And all of a sudden, so you've got to sort of look at it with a blank slate and be real. Forget about the recruiting stars. Forget about everything that's supposed to be once Miles Bridges said he's coming back.
Graham Couch's poll is going to be completely different than it would have been otherwise.
Yeah.
I told you. You know what? I think you can look at some other games involving Michigan and Michigan State. You can certainly look at Michigan having a sweep at Minnesota in hockey. Michigan State with a shutout win at Wisconsin. The game of the week was the Michigan State women's basketball team going to Maryland. And we had a 14-point win over a team that had never lost to another Big Ten team not named Ohio State.
That's the performance of the week. Yeah.
I love how Jack asks us questions and then tells us how important.
Team of the week, maybe.
Tom Crawford. What about our team of the week?
There's your team.
Team of the week.
Ask Jack who the team is.
I could go Alabama, the Crimson Tide, 5 national titles in 9 years. How can you go against that? But I'm going to give it to the Michigan Wolverine basketball team. Not so much about for what they did, mopping up Michigan State in double digits. I mean, took that 29-point win and went down to 10 this last one. But what they did, coming back from 14 to 13 in the first and second half against Purdue and showing some grit. This team has grit that it's never had under John Beilein. They're my team of the week.
What about an Alabama
Wolverine.
team that came from 13 down to win national championship, number 6 for Nick Saban? Instead, we have a team that was 1-1.
You divvied out the responsibility, and I'm responsible for a team.
I'm just correcting you.
We're all wrong.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you the player of the week, and I don't know anybody who could really diss on this.
We'll
guy.
disagree with you. I'm going to disagree with you.
Well, okay. You want to rip Keith Jackson? Go ahead. He's 89 years old, and he was looking at this group, I think, when we started talking about the Big Uglies.
Oh.
But wasn't he the one who first called it the Big House?
Yeah, he is the one, and he was a dandy.
Yeah. Whoa, Nelly. Yes. And a very good friend of Judd Heathcote. Very good friend of everyone associated with college football on the original broadcast team for Monday Night Football. Keith Jackson will be missed. Yeah. I want to thank our panel, Graham Couch. You can listen to him tomorrow on The Drive with Jack. Tom Crawford, you do likewise Tuesday and Wednesday. And, of course, Rico Beard. He is the host of the Spartan Beat. Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you next Sunday.